Good morning, EndurElite family of fast. Matt Mosman, the endurance guru, coming at you today to talk to you about something I am very excited about. So excited about, I can barely contain my excitement. But before I tell you what that is, I'm going to tell you a little story. So a lot of you know that I live in South Dakota, which really isn't known for its sandy beaches and warm weather. It's more like nice temperature, somewhat nice temperature, and winter, where we get about 12 foot of snow every other week. It gets really icy, and it really puts a damper on my endurance training. Now, from previous videos, you know that I've tried all sorts of devices to help improve traction on my running shoes. I've tried the homemade screw shoes, which are good, but they really haven't stopped me from falling on my ass completely, and eventually those screws will kind of work themselves out of the outsoles. I have to go buy more screws. Pain in my ass. I've tried things like yak tracks, which are good on snowpack surfaces, but again, not so much on ice. The point being is I've never really found anything to help me to stop completely falling on my ass. And as a 40-year-old man, I really don't need to be breaking my hip by slipping on the ice. So this is why I'm really excited today. We're gonna do our very first gear review with EndurElite, and today we're going to be reviewing Icebug running shoes. Now, a huge thanks to Icebug for sending me these shoes out to review, but just because they sent me these doesn't mean that I'm not going to give you an honest review of what I like and what I dislike about the shoes. So before we actually get into talking about the actual shoe they sent me, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Icebug. Now, Icebug labels themselves as the traction experts, and they're a company based out of Sweden, which last time I checked the Winter Olympic medal count, they had 14 medals, 7 of which those were gold. So that leads me to think they know a thing or two about winter and icy conditions. So Icebug makes a whole host of different shoes designed for traction. They make hiking shoes, they make boots, they make running shoes, and they're really designed for icy surfaces, wet surfaces, loose surfaces, possibly like really gnarly trail running. I know a lot of obstacle course racers will use the Icebug shoes. So the main point being is Icebug makes shoes that are supposedly give you a ton of traction. So here's what we're going to do. This is going to be a two-part video. The first video we're doing right now is going to kind of go over some of the technical features of the shoe they sent me. The second part of this video will be shot about a month later after I've given these shoes a fair test on icy surfaces, loose surfaces, basically all the worst that South Dakota can throw at them, and we'll see how it performs and give you some feedback on there. So let's just jump right into it. The shoe that Icebug sent me is called the DTS3 BUGRIP. Now, DTS stands for Distance Training Shoe, and let's go over some of the technical features first on the top and then on the bottom. The first thing with this shoe and what makes it a good winter running shoe is it has a water-resistant upper. So if you're trudging through slush and ice, and as long as you're not standing in it for a long period of time, no water's really gonna get through this. Second, this shoe has a very wide last, which is good for a guy like me that has a huge Frankenfoot, quite honestly. So that works out really nice. Nice padded heel collar back here. The drop on this shoe is roughly 12 millimeters from heel to toe, so not overly built by any stretch of the imagination, which I really like. I don't like a big, bulky running shoe by any stretch of the imagination. It almost feels like it's too much on me. In terms of rigidity, it's I would say middle of the road. It's not overly flexible, but not underly flexible, if that's even a word either. So just a really nice, or what I'm assuming will be a nice smooth ride. And then you have a fully cushioned midsole too. So if you're a hard heel striker like me, this may come in handy. So that's kind of some of the technical features on the top. Now, when we turn this thing over to the bottom, this is really where the magic happens, and I'm sure you can see this. So this is where the bug grip technology comes in, or what it's referring to. Now you can see that there are little studs on the bottom of this shoe, and there's 19 of them total, and these are made out of carbide, which is 5 to 6 times stronger than steel, if that tells you anything like how these will wear. I mean, you'd have a hell of a hard time wearing these down. So there's 19 of these total studs on the bottom that are designed to provide you with what I'm going to assume an awesome amount of traction. Now what's really cool about these studs is they operate independently of each other. So depending on how you're coming down and where you're stepping, some are going to grip more, some not quite as much. And they actually float within the sole too, so depending on the surface that you are on, how hard or how soft will really dictate how far these little studs will push in. So again, I'm guessing this is going to lead to massive amounts of traction, and it's really going to have saved me the time again from having to put on a slip over traction device, or put more screws in my screw shoes as I am going throughout the winter season and running. So that's the technical features of the Icebug DTS3 running shoe. Now, like I said, about a month from now, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you how these shoes performed in the beautiful winters in South Dakota. And then I'll give you my final verdict on the pros and cons, the fit, the feel, performance, etc. All right, my endurance friends, we'll be talking to you soon. And until next time, stay fueled, stay focused, and stay fast.